Hello and welcome to the holiest place of all real-time strategy. We got Seton's clutch. We're up to 2,050,000 games here. It's a number that's interesting to keep track of since FAF was established, and it's really been a very slow exponential, you could call it that. But this game sent to me one of the players in this game, which was actually quite recent. I believe it's about April 5th. The middle battle is ZZZZ. He's our favorite Aussie, Andy Rue, taking on Furball, who is known to be extremely good in the middle. However, he's going to be taking on Seraphim. I think Seraphim overall is the best faction for middle. Both players in the middle are taking an engineer with them, which is the standard. Both players are rushing the Hydra. You can see this is nearly a mirror image. Love to see some light assault bots here from Furball punish things like this. Yeah, these are Eco Horse here with the switched column. In this game we also have very strong players Gala and Styre taking the top team. They also got a new player who is the best player in Japan, but incidentally he is Brazilian, which tells you something about the Japan culture and how I don't really know what to say. It's yeah, not much more you can say besides the best Super Commander player in Japan is a Brazilian. It's a good thing about Brazilian culture though. Kurtalis, I believe he's from Sweden. He is the creator of a whole bunch of mods that are frequently used on Setons, things like the power throttle as well as eco sharing. He typically gets a massive economy. Now he's going to challenge Styre for his island, which is probably a good idea. And Heil taking on, you can see, whenever you see people pausing all their stuff like this, you know they're using Kurtalis mod. It's really the victory for Kurtalis. I'd say he's responsible for all their great economies. You can see new player. Oh, yeah, I like Seton's clutch, but I'm not going to play it. VIP as UEF is going to be taking on new player. I think this is probably the biggest mismatch in the entire game. VIP, one of the best players, new player still. He's only the best player in Japan, which means he's probably going to die. Furball forces Andy Rule into the water. Probably not surprising looking at the mid players. Let's actually check out the reclamation numbers. I think they pretty much finished 7,400 for Andy Rue. Furball only 5,700. That's a significant advantage. It's nearly 2,000 difference, about 1,600 difference. And now the initial battles are going to start. Both ACUs are likely to be busy, and an upgrade looks like took to upgrade for Andy Rue. Check out all them pause mask tractors. If you don't got the eco mod tools, you're not welcome. And looking at this island, interesting that Kurtalis seems to have been able to grab the island from Styre, which sucks for Styre, but he is going to try to get a navy going, try to grab that back. And be curious to see if people have anything to say about the audio, whether or not you can hear these changes, because the proximity effect, still getting used to the new microphone. And eventually it will sound good. I think the last video was a vast improvement over the previous couple. And eventually I'd like to have this audio be as good as it possibly can be. Gala in the middle of a resource allocation. He wanted to get resource allocation before a single T2P gen. This is minute 8, which, yeah, that's kind of crazy, although his economy, at least on paper, is the best. He's getting his second T2P gen. He is very much limited by mass. Not surprising his mid player didn't get nearly as much mass as the enemy. That's an interesting statement from Andrew. This is the same feelings I typically have on Seton's clutch. You know, you have all these dreams about how you're gonna get some great build or something that you saw, and how you're gonna suck up all the trees and you're gonna beat somebody, and eventually it just turns out, oh yeah, the other team have a much better team, and you're just gonna lose in 20 minutes. It'll be a slow death. Doesn't matter what you do. In such a case, you really gotta take the approach of Andy Rue and go on suicide. Don't just control K, but you gotta suicide in style. It's the most important thing. The style of your suicide may actually turn out to be a very good play. Andy Rook here, this is a very powerful ACU. Overcharging the T2PDs, he's just taking them head on. And I think he's playing with 5 extra, just reclaimed that 19 kills. He needs some veterancy here. He just grabbed some very timely veterancy and came in just in time. Excellent micro from Andy Rue. He could, yeah, this could be a draw for Furball if he wants it, but probably doesn't. And you can see this is a nice looking Tech 1 land spam. A lot more factories than Andy Rue, than Furball, who does have Tech 2 land. And a whole bunch of scouts. If he had a couple jesters, I think, up front, he could have made things a lot more difficult for Furball. Furball with a Tech 2 upgrade, this is the weakness of the Cyber and ACU. 31 kills. Now you can either have Tech 2 or the gun, and oftentimes you want both, just like what Andy Rue has. You can see it quickly gets your anti-air, you got your gun, you can push. And actually Andy Rue is in a bit of trouble. Looking elsewhere, we do see some ASF from Gala, who's way ahead on eco. He's doubling the eco production of Hal. Hal is just beginning some ASF, making Tech 3 P-gens. EF in the back from both players. That's definitely not optimal. Furball continues to be pushed back. Looking at the ratio of tanks to Artie here, it's nearly 50-50, maybe even more Artie than tanks, which is nice if you want to continue to push the enemy player off of T2PD. This is like the third or fourth time that Furball attempts to make up a base. At some point you just gotta bite the bullet and take a big retreat. You don't want to take 5 small retreats, take one big one and establish a base and push somebody back. And you can see once again, as soon as you finish the T2PD, he is gonna lose it, although some hoplites are moving in. And wow, I think that was a strat bomb there. Yep, Gala going for a kill. Timely veterancy though from Andy Rue. He's also started a shield. The second strat. 2 more strat hits and he's dead. Let's see if these engineers can finish. Hal came in to clean up, but he's gonna pay the price. He's lost all of his ASF. The bottom side no longer has air, except for a few ASF. Gala is quite behind on power, at least momentarily he was. VIP has been, I think, relatively quiet, but a very tidy base, which makes me question, is he really Russian? I don't know if he is. I mean, look how clean that is. This is the cleanest Seton's rock position ever. Yeah, that's one of the striking things about VIP's bases. Furball might get himself in trouble. 18 kills for Furball, a whole bunch of hoplites. And you might think that Andy Rue's in trouble here, but he's not. It's the badass level. You gotta take that into account, together with the health. And you gotta keep in mind that Gala had 1 air here a few minutes ago. Another strat bomb could completely ruin Andy Rue's day here. And this is the old style of Setons. This is Setons I miss. This is Setons from 2010. Remember Affleck, Andy Rue, actually Furball was there. But since FAF, we just couldn't really do the same type of gameplay. And especially more recently, it's been all eco. Which is quite sad, but we are seeing it here. And anytime this happens, definitely send me the replay. I do want to promote this type of gameplay, and that's exactly the spirit that Andy Rue said, let's go suicide, let's go die. But what's actually happening here is he is very much pushing Furball back. And Gala, where is his ASF? Why does Hal have air control? Perhaps this is what I should focus on. Strat bomb there. As soon as it came out, it's converted back to a chunk of mass. Gala probably wants to pick that up as soon as he can. But there seems to have been an air fight that Hal won. So air domination for the bottom side, together with a very aggressive mid Furball in a very bad position, making T1 PDs. Facing a crazed ACU here, who isn't stopping. You know that the ACU is not going to stop till it's done. Multiple T3 PDs, a lot of build capacity on a single air factory. We are seeing, whoa. Wow, okay. This was a crazed AC. It did not stop, and Furball is the first casualty of this game, minute 17. Oh, 2000 health, he's getting hit by T2VD. And the shield's nearly complete. One strat bomb would kill him here, but the fact that Hal has air control has taken away that option. Styre, pretty decent looking eco, but VIP seems to have sort of ran away. Gala also has a pretty good eco, but he's in trouble because he has completely lost air. And units have been passed over from the middle to Gala. These are going to disappear soon. They're going to be reclaimed for Andy Rook, who's already sitting on 21,000. And look at all those scouts. This is nice aggressive play, reminiscent of the good old times. Except for VIP. You could say VIP was one of the players who was instrumental in changing the way Seton's played. Very dominant player. Really showed that you have to get all Tech 3 mask ejectors. It's the key to attack while you're also ecoing. Problem is, people take his gameplay to the extreme where they just do the eco part and forget the attacking part, which is what a lot of Seton's games have evolved to. Wow, what a nice strat. 33 kills on that strat. I think Noob player might be in trouble because this land assault is not stopping. There is no wall. Gala is not for making these walls. I believe some of the first people to started making these walls were Cytheria and Emberg. Mike Berg, missed that player. I always liked to have him. He preferred aggressive strategies, and he preferred to tell people how much they suck, which really pissed a lot of people off, but I kind of liked that about him. Q1 PDs from new player. But yeah, this wall was not complete, and new player is gonna die. He is got a pretty good looking naval, and he's might actually win this naval battle, but eventually VIP is gonna run him over. New player trying to get that spider bite going, and one thing you might notice that Styre and Cordalis are not participating in this game. Maybe this cruiser getting a couple kills, but yeah, they have their own game. They're in a race against themselves here. They're trying to beat their best time, kind of like a marathon runner. It's a non-contact sport for these guys. That's why when you beat them, it's like beating up a track star. It's sometimes it's kind of sad. Gala, meanwhile, yeah, he's got Tech 3 mask checkers he's working on. He's got a single air factory. Let's see, he's definitely not providing air support to Noob, who is getting abused. Gala's plan at this point, his mental state would be to survive and get as big an eco as possible, and then come back and then reclaim Noob's base. That's what he's counting on. He's really looking far ahead. He doesn't really care too much about Noob, even though, well, Noob's on his side. And look at those Tech 3 mask trackers. Hal just being dominant. Look at Hal's economy. Oh my god, 118 mass per tick versus 360 for Gala. VIP though still. Yeah, VIP dominating. What we've basically seen is the bottom side, Hal together with Andy Rue, saying we're just gonna go attack, and they were up against Furball and Gala. Furball's dead, and Gala has completely failed, while Hal is destroying Noob, allowing VIP to take over the ocean, and allowing VIP to have a huge eco where he's already working on a nuke. He's already finished. He's working on the missile. We might see an air fight, which would be critical. Let's check out the numbers. We got 72 for Hal, 71 for Gala. There are a couple strats and gunships, broadswords. This is the best damage per second gunship you can have in the game. Besides, of course, the T4 bug from Cybern. But that's not quite a gunship, that's just ridiculous. Styre, this is his contribution. Look at that, strikers. One factory making strikers. 20 factories making strikers. I think the strikers are gonna lose. The ASF fight still hasn't really happened. Oh, and I got this mod. This is a very nice mod. It gets rid of the window after a while. And I'm hoping it's not a real desync. It should be a desync from Furball leaving the game, which makes him desync with all other players. Yep, that's exactly what I think. Desyncing, this is so much better than just the usual window. Still a bit annoying. This cruiser is perfect placement. This is a placement to remember a cruiser. 40 kills, probably some very big kills. Let's actually see what the veterancy level on this thing is. Yep, 5 stars. Can almost take on frigates. And look at all those dead units. This is what the Gala is counting on, that he's going to be fed a whole bunch of mass. He's got a bunch of T2PDs, he's got broadswords for defense. Hal is not willing to engage him. He's going to take up all the eco from his allies, from his dead allies. Not much left from Furball, but the remnants of Noob's base. Looks like Noob has given his units, he's just going to fight. Likely explode. So it'll be Styre together with Gala. Meanwhile, you can see that Styre has a good looking navy in the middle. He's trying to cut off the choke point. However, he is getting harassed by a bunch of strats from Hal. Hal, I gotta say, this is great. If I had to choose the MVP of the first half, it would probably be Andy Rue, given that he got more mass and led the pressure. But the last 10 minutes, I'd say it's Hal, showing that you don't need a huge eco necessarily to do quite well on Setons. Of course, as soon as he loses this Air Force, he's completely screwed. He will not be able to compete with Gala for production. The power, though, he still has that power. How much has he reclaimed?
Strategic launch detected.
87. Gala 1100. Look at Gala wasting so much mass. And is that nuke going to hit? If that nuke hits, that's going to be huge. And there is no anti-nuke. You can see VIP. Yeah, this is great. There goes Noob. And there's Andy Rue. He's got the missile launcher on his ACU and he's got 131 kills. I want to see how many kills this Noob gets. There is T3 PDs, Gala running away. Yep. Since 2007, Supreme Commander nukes dominating the video game world, for those who've seen them. Yeah, good luck beating that one. Well, Gala has escaped, but his base is screwed. Actually, he's escaped the game entirely, leaving his base to Styre. So Styre is the last player. He hasn't really played much. Unlike VIP, he hasn't made a nuke. He's made an anti-nuke, and he's made a whole bunch of strikers. These strikers are in a one-line column. See a lot of this dead. All these dead spots are from Styre strikers. I think some of them made it pretty far. Where's the move order actually going to? Yeah, it's... Yep, some of them have made it about this far. Nobody's made it past this hill. I think they got a little too close to the Navy. None of them make it back home. Yeah, I'd be curious from somebody from this game whether or not this sync was actually real. My feeling is that it may actually be real because of all these economies. But nonetheless, I think it's the thought that counts. What we've seen was Hal, together with Andy Rue, completely dominate. And I'm actually going to stop this replay here. And I gotta mention VIP with his nuke and a huge economy. And I gotta mention Crutalis, mainly for the mods that he's made that every single player in this game is using.